24 to 7. Let's talk gadgets and technology. Mathan Allington is our gadget coach. Mathan, good morning.
Good morning.
Have we moved a step closer to the driverless car, Mathan?
We certainly have. It sounds a bit like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it is closer to reality. So Google have been test driving for the last 2 years a driverless car, and in the US it's now legal in 3 states. So in the last week, California have made it legal to have driverless cars on the road.
Does that mean you could actually be going down an LA freeway and, at least in theory, the car next to you hasn't got a driver?
That's correct. So at the moment, this car that they've got on the road, they say it's driven more kilometres than the average driver and hasn't had an accident. So it actually has been on freeways. Up to this point, it hasn't actually technically been illegal, but the laws were about 90 or 100 years old as far as with automobiles. So they had to legalise it for insurance and all that sort of purpose.
It probably said, you said a vehicle like that, you had to have a flag in front of it. But, okay,
that's right.
Have you ever been in a driverless vehicle of any kind?
No, except for silly people doing silly things. But no, in this case, it's got this sort of laser camera sensor that sits on top of the car, and it rotates a number of times per second. Mm-hmm. And it takes all the controls of the car. So it's just a standard production car that's been modified at this point. Wow. But what they always do, especially in testing stage, they always have at least one person as an emergency backup in case something goes wrong. That person can slam on the brakes or turn the wheel to the side.
What's the practical use of them, Mathan?
The practical use, they put it for safety. So potentially you can reduce traffic jams. So you've got cars that are all on the road talking to each other. So they're going to accelerate away from lights at the same speed. They'll follow at the same distance. If cars need to change lanes, they'll back off and create space, all safe and all according to computer programming.
Excuse me, Mathan, that could not apply in South Australia. We could not have people letting a driverless vehicle in. It just can't happen, mate.
No, well,
how do you give them the bird?
People might surprise us.
Tim wants a mechanical give the bird sign.
Yeah, you got to flip the finger or something. What goes on there, mate? You can't even have road rage with these people.
So what you're saying is this actually is a safety vehicle in effect. It's not just for people who can't drive or in place of taxis. We could all use it. Yes, yeah. So.
It's been a couple of years, but I'd say maybe the next generation might start to see this as a more common thing. Yeah, so not just for vision impaired or people that physically can't drive, but yeah, as far as safety and all of that, and improving traffic flows and reducing accidents. Yeah, lots of purposes.
And Mathan, it keeps up with the traffic. It's not pootling along at 40 k's an hour.
No, not at all. So there's a few videos on YouTube, and they're going on the freeways. They're going 60 miles an hour as they do in the States. So they're moving along with the traffic flow. They show them merging onto freeways, coming through suburban streets. So it handles all of that properly.
Blimey. Okay, keep us posted on that. Now, in the meantime, we've just got used to the idea that there's a new iPhone out, and now you reckon there's something else due within a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so there's lots of reports around that there'll be an iPad mini being announced possibly as soon as October 10th with a possible October 17th launch.
And what's an iPad mini?
It's designed, it'll just be a smaller version of iPad. Might have some scaled down features, maybe a slightly lower resolution screen, slightly slower than the current ones. But the idea is it's just to fit a hole in the market that Apple aren't filling at the moment. So it'll be about a 7-inch screen, and it's where their competitors have found there's a bit of a niche, so that they're going to provide that sort of smaller, medium-sized tablet.
So is that where Samsung have come in? Is that what you mean?
So Samsung were one of the first, even as far back as a couple of years ago. But Google with their Nexus tablets, Nexus 7 tablet, and Amazon with their Kindle Fire HD in the States, which we should hopefully see a bit more of here.
Does it mean you tend to use that more as a reader rather than as an all-purpose gizmo?
Yeah, so what you would see is less creation of content such as documents or design work or video. It'd be, as I said, more of a reader, a consumption device, and it'd be more portable. So your business traveller might be able to fit it in a jacket pocket or in a smaller handbag rather than the larger 10-inch size.
What about the iPad 4? What's the news on that?
Yes, so we would expect to see that probably March or April next year. So there's only very limited rumours at this point, but people in Japan are saying Apple are sourcing carbon fibre to make a lighter and stronger body, so rather than the aluminium case at the moment. So that's sort of the early rumours, but March or April next year, I'm sure we'll start seeing more rumours and stories come out in the next few months. And
meanwhile, back with Apple, this dreadful saga of they're producing their own maps for the iPhone 4. I heard Belinda, well, in fact, it was Peter yesterday in the afternoon, talking about the fact that I think if you stick in Arkaroola Village, it's in Dulwich.
Okay.
Well, just to the left of.
Just, I mean, there are some bursters. Have you heard any examples of how a new system can get it so badly wrong?
Yeah, so I've got family in New Zealand, and with the Maori place names, it's got a suburb which is called FIVEaa. I don't know if I should say what it said on breakfast radio, but it called it Marie and something else. Oh. And people in South Australia wanting directions, and instead of going left, it's telling them to go right. Yes, so it's getting all of that mixed up at this point.
So at this stage, they're suggesting you use another product until they get it right.
Yeah, so their CEO came out with an official apology and said use other products. So the best solution at this point for people that love the Google Maps app that they might have lost is to go to their browser and access Google Maps through their browser, and they can get the same functionality and get the right directions and find local businesses through there.
It's easy with Gadget Coach.